Time that we are meeting, my name is Erin Oberlander. I am a certified holistic aromatherapist and owner of the business called Prairie Soap House and Apothecary. You can go ahead and follow me here on Instagram, also over on Facebook, if you want to learn more about how to have a vibrant, holistic lifestyle with ease. So one of the things that I teach on and is very relevant to today is that I teach people about how to live seasonally. So why do I do that? Well, I have found for myself that living in harmony with nature and the cycles of nature and everything that nature has provided for us in season has actually amplified my health and wellness significantly, and also given me a much greater sense of fulfillment in my life. Because what's so interesting is that as we connect to nature, we also get much more connected to our inner voice and to our life's purpose and our life's direction. So today we are just a few days past what is called the fall equinox. This is our point between the first day of summer and the first day of winter. Halfway between those is the fall equinox. It's where we have equal amounts of, depending on where you are in the globe, of light and dark in the day. And we are equal between the extreme seasons, so the extreme season of summer and the extreme season of winter. So fall is sort of a transitional season, and it's not necessarily typified by extremes of temperature, but instead by other challenges. Now, no matter what season we're going into, what I'm going to give you as ideas today is going to apply sort of across the board, because every season transition point is also an opportunity for a reset. And this is something that I think in our culture today, because we are no longer aware of the seasonal calendar, we're only aware of our calendar of January, February, March, April, May, which doesn't necessarily have anything that pertains to the natural change and ebb and flow of seasons and cycles of nature, that we have kind of forgotten how to have sort of rites of passage and rites of transition. So when we're talking about those seasonal transition points, this can be a wonderful time to step back and reassess what's going on in your life and do some things to reset your course, reset your health, reset your mindset. So instead of just seeing these seasonal times as, oh, yep, okay, I know that daylight savings is going to be coming up soon. I know that Halloween and Thanksgiving or whatever holiday is coming up. We want to see these seasonal points as events in and of themselves. And traditional cultures all over the world from the beginning of human history have known that these are important transition points, particularly some of the ancient wisdom traditions like traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurvedic medicine, which I have some training in. Focus on these transitional points between the seasons as a time when our body is going to be the most challenged, because it's when we're going from one season into another. So one set of characteristics outside in nature, one set of characteristics happening within our bodies, to a completely different set of characteristics both outside in nature and inside of our bodies. So about 18 days around any seasonal transition point is actually a time where our bodies are typically going to struggle the most with that transition. So moving into fall, for example, our challenge moving into fall is a lot more wind and colder temperatures, which stress our body more, and then that puts our immunity in jeopardy. So that's just one example of some of the things that can cause sort of imbalance and challenge for the body. Now, when we're using those seasonal transition points as opportunities to reset, we can actually set our intentions and make some plans to counteract whatever might be the challenges going into any particular season. So I wanted to give you some ideas today about some things that you can do irrespective of the season to give you a reset so that you can kind of see, okay, what is actually coming up? How am I actually feeling in my body? How am I actually doing with my mindset? Do I feel like I'm connected in my heart to the things that are important in my life? And then I also want us to take some time to look around our environment, whether that's work, home, yard, whatever, and see what we can also reset there. So here are some ideas for you. Very first idea I would give you, and I'm actually doing this today, is to do a nutritionally supported cleanse or a nutritionally supported fast. Now, I'm talking today, a few days after the fall equinox, and In traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, these are transition points where fasting or cleansing of some kind is usually recommended. So anytime we're having that transition point between seasons, those traditions, as well as many others, say that this is a time to give our bodies a break from digestion so that they can kind of catch up on other things that they need to catch up on, so that they're not stressed with a bunch of junk when they're also having to adapt to the changing seasons and conditions of the changing seasons. So I like to do a lot of different types of fasting, but the one that I would recommend most for fall season is to do a nutritionally supported intermittent fast. And if you're interested in that type of information, go ahead and direct message me here and I can tell you more about it. The reason that I like to do a nutritionally supported intermittent fast is because if we just do an intermittent fast, if we've had a really busy summer, if we've been working really hard physically outside, or maybe you've been training for races and things like that, our bodies are actually a little bit depleted right now of nutrient. And so if we go into a straight fast, we may actually set ourselves back nutritionally depending on how the rest of our body is functioning. Now, some of us will go into a fast and will actually gain some nutrition from doing that because we'll be able to get that from our fat stores, but it just depends on your natural body's constitution and also your state of health right now. So nutritionally supported intermittent fasting, I have found of all the different fast and cleanse, and I've been doing fasting and cleansing since I was in high school. I have a lot of experience with it. This is the easiest, and it's also the most gentle, and I have also found it to be the most effective for increasing my energy and mental clarity, for getting rid of some excess fluff, for helping to support my digestion, and taking that break from having to prepare meals, from having to eat. It actually takes a lot more time in a day to do that than you would think. So to take some time away from that, to do some fasting, then brings you to kind of the second stage of what I think is an excellent aspect of a reset. And that is to sit down and to assess with yourself on paper with writing, because our brain processes it different. What am I proud of, and how did my last season of my life go? What am I unhappy about, and what do I want to change now going forward into this next season? Then once I know what it is that I want to change, what I want to alter, what I want to keep the same, I will sit down and I will make a 3-month or a seasonal plan for myself going into that next season about how I'm actually going to achieve those objectives. So it doesn't just stay wishing and hoping, but I actually get myself into action for those things right away. As I'm doing that, I also like to take some time to pray, to meditate, breathe deeply, and really check in with my physical body and see what my physical body is telling me and what messages I'm getting back from it about some changes lifestyle-wise, health and wellness-wise, that I'm going to very purposely make moving into the next season. And I'm also going to look at some challenges that I may have coming up in that next season, whether it's travel or holidays or just not having access to certain types of food. How am I going to compensate for that in my diet? For example, in winter, we don't have a lot of fresh greens, and fresh greens are so crucial for the functioning of a healthy liver, a healthy body. So I might make sure that every day I'm taking a really high quality cold processed greens powder so that I'm getting those phytonutrients, I'm getting those antioxidants, and I'm helping to support my body. So that's just an example. And then the third part of a seasonal reset is to look around in your environment. And this is really a big deal. And for some of us, like if you're like me, I actually do this part first, because if I don't, my environment is so distracting to me, I can't focus clearly on anything else. So looking around in your home, what are those areas of your home that are just like stealing energy from you right now because they're cluttered, they're frustrating? What can you clean? What can you clear out? Maybe it's as simple as you're going to change the direction of your ceiling fans and clean them off for the next season. Or maybe you have an area that's cluttered, that's every time you walk into your house, you're just like, this is a perfect time to get rid of those. Maybe it's as simple as taking out the garbage, wiping down some surfaces, and clearing some stuff out. But it's incredible how this will help the flow of energy in your home. It helps the flow of energy in your mind. It helps you to focus on those other two steps really well. So this 3-pronged approach of a seasonal sort of reset is something that you can put into action at any point when you are seeking to live more in tune and in harmony with nature. So those 3 aspects are to do some kind of a supported fast, to look mentally and emotionally at a reset and say, what are my goals moving forward? What was I unhappy with? What do I want to change? And then looking at your environment around you, work or home or outside, whatever the case may be, and getting rid of some of those areas or of clutter that are just frustrating to you and that you want to shift. So those are some ideas for you for that cyclical and seasonal living.